You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
You are watching the leaders in full immersion gaming, and this is the pregame show only on the NBL Network.
Welcome one and all to another edition of the NBL Live pregame show, week 17 for today's matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. Raiders win and you're in. It doesn't get bigger than this, and we got it here today on NBL Live. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out here with Bomber, and joining us today on the NBL Live pregame show is the host of the Four Verts podcast and, of course, NBL Tonight. It's Sonny Weaver. Now, Sonny, it's playoff time here in the NBL. We're getting right down to it. And we hear that you've been working on some analytics, looking at deep into the stats to see who's favored in this playoffs. What kind of stats have you been looking at? What's standing out to you?
So what we did was we took a deep dive into the numbers beneath the numbers to try to figure out why people win and who to really bank on as we go forward. So what we did was we dove into the passing analytics, defensive stats, as well as rushing. Interestingly, we did not find any correlation to winning tied with rushing, but when looking at passing and defensive metrics, two things stood out to us. The first one being TD to interception ratio. Now, with TD to interception ratio, what you'll find is those in the top 10 in the league, 7 of those top 10 are actually in the playoffs. 8 of those top 10 have winning records, with 2 outliers, one being the Falcons, which, if you're familiar with the league, you'll figure out that that's probably not indicative of that. So if you look at the bottom half of the league from 18 down, all of those teams have losing records. So TD to interception ratio is a big one for the league. The other one on the defensive side of the ball that we can tie to people in the playoffs is what I call the splash plays percentage. What the splash plays percentage is that's interceptions, fumbles, and sacks. So basically, we're trying to figure out what percentage of your defensive snaps do you create a splash play, some sort of play that keeps you in that game. And that's very similar to the TD to interception ratio. 8 of the 10 in the playoffs are in the top 10 of the splash play percentage, with only one of the playoff teams are in the bottom 10, and that's actually the Buffalo Bills.
All right, Sonny. So these are the Sonnylytics. We know you're the host of the Four Verts podcast, which is, Madden centric, and then NBL Tonight, one of our premier shows, our flagship show on the NBL Network. So if y'all haven't checked that out, make sure y'all go check that out. That's right, Sonny Weaver on NBL Tonight, as you see the graphic right there, one of our best shows on the network. Sonny, let's get back to these Sonnylytics, is what I'm calling them. All right, so I'm looking at your little Sonnylytics, and you're talking about these splash plays, and I really, really, really like them. So I want you to tell me, how is that Draco defense looking in these splash plays? Because we know he barely limped into the playoffs, but that Draco defense has been very strong. They obviously have been known for creating turnovers on the defensive side of the ball. Their offense has been struggling. But, Sonny, what can you tell us about this wild card team, who I think is pretty much a little bit of a dark horse heading into NBL Season 21 playoffs? They just clinched the wild card seat at 10-6. So, is there any information you can give us about these Chicago Bears and the possibility of them making a little run in the playoffs this year?
So the Draco defense is a real thing from what we can see in our statistics. Part of the splash plays are made up, as I said, from sacks, fumbles, interceptions. And if you look across the board, when you look at downs played, and kind of his average per sack, or sack per down, fumble per down, interception per down, he's actually doing really well. He forces a lot of pressure per downs, and that actually brings him into our splash percentage rating at number 9 with 37%. So that 37% means 37% of the time the Draco's defense is on the field, he will create a splash play.
Well, that's very interesting. As we know, the Bears are most likely going to be taking on the New Orleans Saints. And the New Orleans Saints, obviously probably a team that's very high on that offensive end this year. They lost their quarterback, Dronette, but they have the MVP running the ball, and they've been very efficient passing the ball as far as not having a lot of turnovers, and they're getting those touchdowns. So that matchup is really intriguing to me, seeing the Saints versus the Bears. Can you tell us a little bit about that Saints offense if they're going to be going against a team like the Bears, who's really high on those splash plays on defense?
So that's actually a great matchup. And when I look at the playoff matchup, I've basically broken down the playoff teams into three pools: those who can actually win a Super Bowl, those who have an outside shot, and those with no shot. And actually, I have the Saints as my second favorite team to win the Super Bowl.
Well, let's get the list. Let's hear the list. Let's go top to bottom right now.
So the top to bottom right now, the top 10 for who actually can make it based on being on the top 10 for both the splash play and TD interception. I have the Lions at number 1, followed by the Saints, Steelers, Bengals, Chargers, and Bears. Those are the groups that I believe can actually win a Super Bowl. My next pod of people that have that outside shot, I've got Cowboys, Rams, and Redskins, and the ones that, based on our analytics, I do not believe can win a Super Bowl is the Bills, the Texans, and whoever does come out from this last wild card matchup.
Sonny Weaver, the host of the Fort Verts podcast at NBL Tonight. Sonny, before we let you go, got a big game tonight here on NBL Live. It's the Raiders and the Broncos. Raiders win and get in. Let me ask you right now, analytics, gut, whatever you feel like using, do the Raiders get into the playoffs?
I'm going to say the Raiders get in. They're number 8 in TD to interception ratio. They're also number 8 in the splash plays. They create a lot of pressure with their linebacking core. Their TD interception ratio started out the year very bad, but since week probably 8, they've been on a roll. And so I really like the Raiders to win this game tonight.
You heard it here first, Sonny. We were predicting the Raiders to get a victory. We'd like to thank Sonny, the host of, once again, the Fort Verts podcast and NBL Tonight. Thanks so much for joining us on the NBL pregame show. We got a big game today. Again, it is the Broncos and the Raiders. Bomber, before we get to talking about that game, let's look at the Nate Silver's no power rankings. We like to look at those power rankings, but let's give some love to the bottom 5 teams. Got the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Browns, the Giants, and the Dolphins hanging on at 32. Which one of these teams, looking at these no power rankings, do you think is sort of best suited for the future? Maybe not next year, but in the next couple years.
Well, I mean, that's just a tough list I'm looking at right now. I'm seeing these no power rankings, and I'm seeing at the bottom, and I just can't get over the fact that I keep seeing those Atlanta Falcons. Somehow they got all these guys picks, man. So definitely the Atlanta Falcons look the best out of them because they're taking all these guys picks. But based on the future, I'm going to go out on a limb here. That's right. I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins, who played one hell of a spoiler card in Week 17. That's right. The team that previously was 0-16 in NBL Season 21. They started off, 0-10, 0-11 in this season. They were on pace for 0-32. And the Dolphins turned it around. That's right. Cuba fought back. He's building around the defense. He beat the Tennessee Titans in Week 17, and he kept those Titans out of the playoffs. I mean, that's a big deal for me. That shows a team with a lot of fight and a lot of heart, and they're going to fight for their owner. That's right. Cuba's building a nice team over there, and I think they go with some type of quarterback this year. Obviously, the Tannehill experiment is over, and I think that team's the one with the most upside is the Miami Dolphins.
Miami Dolphins, you said that's the number 32 team on the no power rankings. We'll see if they can work their way up. Let's take a moment to look at those Atlanta Falcons. They used their trading power last year to get 2 picks here in the no power rankings. They got the Panthers, number 3 overall pick, I believe right now it is. And they also have the Giants, 2 teams who are in the top 5. The Falcons also having a rough year, ending up in the top 10 or the top 15 for their pick. But 3 picks in the top 15. I mean, you got to think they're going to challenge the Saints to the division next year.
Yeah, I definitely think so. With those 2 picks are just going to be so key. That's right. They got the New York Giants first-round pick in NBL Season 22, which is going to be a top 5 pick. They got the Carolina Panthers pick, which is OSU's pick on the broadcast right now. He's not too happy about it. It was a honeymoon. It was a honeymoon that took him away from competing this year. He lost his first-round pick with the trade he made with the Falcons. So this is all moving forward. I'm going to say this. One and only is a used car salesman. Stay away from him, guys. Do not trade with this guy because look what's happening right now. He's got 3 picks in the top 10, and this is an elite player. He's won 2 to 3 NBL championships. You can check it out on 365. MaddenBomberLeague.com. That's right. This guy's a big-time premier player in the NBL, and yeah, I expect him to do a lot with those young players. I mean, he got rid of Matt Ryan, replaced him with Blake Bortles. Obviously, that's not the answer in Atlanta, so I expect him to come with the quarterback. I expect him to throw another wide receiver out there next to Julio Jones. I expect big things from this team next year.
NFC South for sure going to be a battle with the Atlanta Falcons with those 3 picks and the Saints winning the division this year. It shall be interesting to see. Let's get to our game today. We've got the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. The Raiders win and they get in. It doesn't get bigger than that. And let's give a little love right now, all right? We've talked about it over the last couple years about hashtag Carr overrated, but this year, Derek Carr really has been quite good for this Raiders team. Started out a little rocky, but he ended up with a 21-20 touchdown interception ratio, ending up with a quarterback rating of 91.7. That's almost 40 higher than last year. It's just unbelievable, his turnaround. Do we got to give Derek Carr a little love? Do we got to put him in the top 15 of quarterbacks here in the NBL? Or are you still not buying into the Carr love?
Oh, I'm not. I'm slowing down. I'm hitting the e-brake on you, and we might be hydroplaning a little bit right now. But let's slow down a little bit on Derek Carr. The success from the Oakland Raiders is coming from one guy, and that's right. It's Latavius Murray, averaging 4.9 yards per carry. Got over 1,000 yards this year. One of only 4 NBL rushers to get over 1,000 yards with touchdowns on the ground for the Oakland Raiders. When he really started ground and pounding it, that's when the Raiders started playing very well. That's right. The wheels on that bus go ground and pound in Oakland, and that's what they need to continue to do. Now, hashtag Carr overrated. Now, we will talk about that. If they win tonight and they make the playoffs, even though by all means they limp into the playoffs at 9-7 as a wild card in the AFC, most likely one and done, I will stop the hashtag Carr overrated. I will call it blasphemous, and I will let it end right now at the end of the game. But if they lose tonight, hashtag Carr overrated is still alive and well because the guy's making a lot of money. Yes, his play has improved, but I still don't see the 100 QBR that we're accustomed to from Project Fat and Derek Carr. Last year he had a really abysmal year at 66 on the QBR. This year at 100. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. I'm not willing to just drop it just yet.
All right, Bomber. Do the Raiders get into the playoffs today? Are they able to get into the playoffs, beat their division rival, the Broncos? Or are the Broncos playing spoiler tonight?
I think this game's going into overtime. It's going to be 20-20. We're going to go into OT. And Paxton Lynch going to make one of those desperation throws to Demaryius Thomas. He's going to get in field goal range. They're going to kick the field goal, but it's going to be no good. And Raiders going to have another shot, and that's where it's going to come down to Carr overrated. So I'm not putting in a prediction. I'm saying this game goes into overtime. Derek Carr, your fate is with you. You can lead this team to the playoffs and give them an opportunity to win NBL Season 21, a Super Bowl. So it's all in your court, buddy.
Of course, we heard it here first. It's going to go to overtime. The very specific prediction from Bomber, and they're ready to go out in Oakland. When we come back, it will be the Broncos and Raiders win and get in. The Raiders are in the playoffs, fighting for their playoff lives. Broncos looking to play spoiler. Stay tuned for NBL Live.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price.
Not here! Not ever!
We are live, NBL Live, Week 17, and it is a big one. It is the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos from the Oakland Coliseum. Raiders win, and they are in. Broncos looking to play spoiler to their division rivals. Hi, everyone. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out here with Bomber. It doesn't get bigger than this on NBL Live. It is Raiders and Broncos. We thank all of you for hanging out with us here on NBL Live, a Week 17 matchup. Now, Bomber, we got the Broncos, Raiders in Oakland. I got to ask, you said that if the Raiders win this game, you'd drop the hashtag Carr overrated, but the Raiders also get into the playoffs. Which one do you think is more important to Fat right now? Do you think it is the hashtag Carr overrated finally getting buried, or do you think it's that playoff spot?
I think he gets to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, so I think they're both as important. And honestly, we all know Fat's a little fragile when it comes to that ego. So I think killing both of them is important today. And I think it can be done. I really do think this Raiders team, once they've gotten more run heavy, they've been a lot better of a team. Let's check out some chat predictions thus far. We got Homer saying 24-23 Raiders. Mr. Chunky, the #1 prospect in the grid, shout out to him. What's up, Mr. Chunky? 28-13 Broncos. Sip, who's bananas in the NBL, just had an MVP come out. We haven't talked about that. The halfback, Alston, had a great season, broke some records in the NBL. 31-24 Broncos. His prediction, Doughboy says 31-17 Broncos. And Delvar in the house. What's up, Delvar? Another producer along with Gibbs. Big shout out to Gibbs right now. He's pulling all the strings as usual. Delvar says 35-14 Raiders. Wow. And Cortez Logan, that is Heartless, formerly known as Atreyu. says 24-17 Broncos. So a lot of predictions. It's kind of going both ways. Tim Hamilton, Hollywood from the grid says 24-20 Broncos. So, I mean, I'm seeing flip-flop, OSU. Where are you at? Where's your head at right now?
Oh, I think that this is about as high pressure of a game as we've ever seen for these Oakland Raiders, and Derek Carr has struggled under pressure. Hashtag Carr overrated has gone around the NBL. We'll see if he can kick that tonight, but I think this is a moment. If Derek Carr is going to solidify himself as a star in Oakland, he's going to have to win tonight and put them into the playoffs. While you're in chat, guys, be sure to use hashtag Team Porter or hashtag Team Fat for your predictions between the Broncos and the Raiders. It is the Broncos, or it's the Raiders on offense. As on second down, he's going to be Derek Carr throwing out to the left side, and it is complete. A nice little curl route there for a first down. Derek Carr starting off with a nice throw. No mistake there, but that's only one throw.
Yeah, I really like that play, slot under. I think you had Amari Cooper there in the slot, running a little delayed slant across the middle. It really held that zone down just a little bit and opened up that curl route for Carr to get a nice little rhythm on his first throw. Ran for a couple yards on the first play to Latavius Murray. Looking good for Raiders so far. They're feeling loose. Week 17, season's on the line.
No doubt, Derek Carr does have an opportunity to do something today against this Broncos defense. They're the 20th ranked pass defense in the NBL. So if Derek Carr is going to have a big game, it's going to be today, and he needs to get them into the playoffs. It's going to be handoff to Latavius Murray, who hits his hole and gets up the middle for about 6 yards, bringing up a 2nd and 4. And as you said in the pregame show, Latavius Murray is the key to this offense.
Yeah, he definitely is. They got to give him the ball, and they got to feed him early, and they got to feed him often. A lot of Team Porters in the chat. Hashtag Team Porter, Mr. Chunky, who I said earlier, number 1 prospect in the grid, man. He's going to be in the NBL soon, baby. We can't wait. NBL, Mr. October says, hashtag Team Porter, 24-17 Broncos is what he's predicting right now. I mean, I can see it going that way as well. As I said, 20-20 overtime, and they're going to shank a field goal, and it's going to come down to Derek Carr. And if that happens, I better be called a genius by the end of the day.
Derek Carr in the shotgun empty formation is going to be a screen out to Washington, but Denver had that one wrapped up early. Interesting play call there. The Broncos looked like they were in man defense and blew up that screen early.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're just trying to get Derek Carr involved a little bit. You know, quick little curl route, and now a little wide receiver screen. I mean, that hints to me like a little bit of a, big game Carr. We're not too sure how he's going to go. Let's get his feet under him, get him some confidence. And then we're going to start trying to drive the ball down the field as they get a 3rd and 7 here. Looks like a possible flood concept on the left side of the field.
Derek Carr looking to pass. He's going to throw it out into the flat. It is Walford with the catch, and he breaks a tackle and gets down, but there's a flag on the play, and it is a holding call, and that is a killer.
That's a Detroit holding, baby, on NBL Live. We're all familiar with these holding calls. They happen a lot in the last couple games. Is right there. Carr hits the flat fairly quickly. Very early hold by that offensive lineman. That's something right there, OSU, that you just can't allow on the offensive line. If the quarterback's going to be getting rid of it that quickly, the offense has no excuse why they'd be holding the defensive player that early in the throw.
Bomber, do I sense a little saltiness towards the referees after your NBL Live game?
I don't want to take on any penalties. I don't want to get any suspensions from the league. I definitely don't want to see that FedEx from Playa. So I'm going to keep quiet right now. The refs do a great job, and they're the reasons why we're able to play this wonderful game. As Carr looks over the middle to John Brown, I believe that was his target, and he comes up with a big drop over the middle. It's going to be 4th and 17 and a punting situation for Oakland. Denver has an opportunity here, OSU.
No doubt they do have an opportunity. Tough throw over the middle, but that holding call really set them back after they had the conversion on 3rd down, but end up in 3rd and long, and those 3rd and longs will kill you here in the NBL as Oakland punts it away. Turns coming up the right side, bringing it over, and a nice open field tackle there to keep him at the 20-yard line. We're going to get a first opportunity to see Paxton Lynch. We've seen on NBL Live before this year, but Paxton Lynch, you think he relishes this opportunity to play spoiler?
I think he should, man. I think Paxton Lynch still has a lot to prove in the league. He's only 24 years old right now in the NBL, working his team right now. He's about 3,200 yards passing this season. I mean, he's still got a lot to prove to me. 70 QBR, and last year he was 65. So there's a lot of doubters in Denver thinking they should draft a quarterback as they hand it up the middle to C.J. Anderson. Plugs away for about 13 yards, and that's a great start for Paxton Lynch when they can get C.J. Anderson going early.
C.J. Anderson having a nice year for the Broncos, averaging about 3.5 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns on the ground. They're definitely going to be focusing on the run game today to help Paxton Lynch get a few more holes in the passing game and keep the defense on their heels. As Paxton Lynch going to break the huddle in the I formation with C.J. Anderson at the top of that I. So we play action, looking to pass over the middle, and it is a dangerous throw.
Wow.
Lucky that one's not intercepted. But Paxton Lynch, whereas Derek Carr started out pretty nicely, making a couple nice throws, that's really not what you're hoping for if you're a Denver Broncos fan.
No, definitely not. Paxton Lynch has got to be better than that. He threw 32 interceptions this year, only on 22 touchdowns, and he was sacked 21 times. So this guy's been hurried, and then the times when he's not hurried, he's making bad throws like that, man. That's just not going to give me a lot of confidence if I'm a Denver Broncos fan right now.
2nd and 10, Paxton Lynch breaks the huddle under center. He's got 2 wide to the left, 1 to the right, and C.J. Anderson in the backfield. He's going to be dropping back to pass once again. He throws it out to the left side, a little hitch route, and it is complete to Demaryius Thomas, a name we haven't called yet today, but surely Paxton Lynch is going to rely on Demaryius Thomas to get this passing game going.
Yeah, Demaryius Thomas led this team in receiving yards this year, along with receptions. He had 57 receptions, 1,036 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Not a lot of touchdowns for Demaryius Thomas, but that goes back to this team not having a quarterback that's really putting the ball in the end zone as he throws to the outside to the tight end, picks up a first down.
And this Oakland Raiders defense, it's what we would consider firmly in the middle of the NBL. They are ranked in the top 15 in just about everything. Nothing too spectacular, but this Oakland defense is no pushover. They're going to be looking to support Derek Carr on the offensive side and get some stops as Paxton Lynch comes out with 2 wide receivers and C.J. Anderson in the backfield. Dropping back to pass once again, and it is complete to Demaryius Thomas. Looked like he might have been able to get around the defender, but made sure he had the catch. A smart play there, and he just broke 1,000 yards on a season for Demaryius Thomas, number 1 weapon for Paxton Lynch.
Look at him just calling first down. Demaryius Thomas, not really much to play for with the 7-8 Denver Broncos, but when you're playing your division opponent, a rivalry like you have with Oakland, and you have an opportunity to keep them out the playoffs, and this is like a playoff game for them right now, so they're coming out there trying to ball out and show them that they got a little bit left in the tank, and this team ain't too bad either as they run a nice play action over the middle, interception. Paxton Lynch, no. One of those throws is, as OSU just did, that the Broncos fans do often. They throw it, they go, no! And they get an interception as he was trying to target Emmanuel Sanders over the middle right there. Just a complete overthrow by Paxton Lynch. Very poor accuracy on that throw.
And those are the ones that we're going to look back at the end of the game. We'll see if that hurts this Denver Broncos offense as they were driving into Oakland territory, but instead it's going to be Derek Carr with the ball on the 18-yard line. 1:42 to go in the first quarter. It's a handoff to Latavius Murray, and he's going to get up to the 21-yard line. A nice we'll call it a long 3-yard gain on first down. And those are the ones that Oakland's going to have to get on first and second down to keep Derek Carr out of those 3rd and long situations.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at 2nd and 7. That's not bad. They run it again. You're looking at 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and that just puts Derek Carr in those manageables. As we seen earlier, if there wasn't a hold, he would have picked up that first down throw into the flat. So Derek Carr's been really good at hitting his check down. They've really gone back to the drawing board and simplified this offense for him early going on this season. They're trying to end that hashtag Carr overrated.
2nd and 7. It's going to be Derek Carr in the shotgun. He's been looking to pass. Throws it out to the flat to Walford. He catches it and gets up to about the 25-yard line. That's a good 4-yard gain, bringing up a 3rd and 3 for this Oakland offense that is humming right now. They're not doing too many passes downfield. They know how Derek Carr has the propensity to throw interceptions, but they've got him in a little rhythm right now, and that's going to be helpful for Derek Carr going forward as he breaks the huddle with 4 wide receivers. He's going to be in the shotgun with Latavius Murray on a 3rd and 3. Nearing the end of the first quarter, he drops back to pass, throws it, and it is complete to Brown, but a flag is on the play.
Oh, my gosh.
And it is going to be another holding call against this Oakland offensive line.
Another timely 3rd down call by the referees today. Man, I could see the Oakland Raider fan base not too happy about this. You see them in the stands. They can't believe it. Hands up in shock right now as their team's going to be putting a 3rd and long with hashtag Carr overrated under center, man. This is not shaping up to be too good for Oakland right now.
Shotgun formation on 3rd and 13. Carr is dropping back to pass. Throws it out to the right side. It is intercepted by the Denver Broncos. Wow. It was Parks on the interception, and it was man coverage and great coverage there by Parks. Able to come up with the interception, and Denver has great field position, but hashtag Carr overrated. It might be alive and kicking.
Well, there you go. You see a corner route, you see man coverage, and you think, well, I mean, that's going to be open, and just not today. A great defensive play by Denver. Parks comes up big right there, and that right there is what's going to be the difference in this game if this defense can make plays like that.
Paxton Lynch with the ball. Great field position on the 27-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to C.J. Anderson to the right side, but this Oakland Raiders defense was ready for that one, able to stop the stretch play for a loss of 1, bringing up a 2nd and 11.
2nd and 11, nothing to do here, but they are in field goal range. So this gives them some options here on 2nd and 11. They can go with the screen play. They can go something underneath to the flat. You don't have to go for it all right now, but the main point is to put 3 points on the board when you're in field goal range and protect the ball.
2nd and 11, Paxton Lynch breaking the huddle. He's going to come out under center. He's got 1 wide to each side. C.J. Anderson in the backfield, dropping back to pass once again, and he throws it. It is complete.
Oh, beautiful.
For a first down to the 10-yard line. Another great seam route and a great throw there by Paxton Lynch. Not an easy to throw to make.
Yeah, that right there is I'm scratching my head right now. I'm like, that's a good throw right there. Now, that's the Paxton Lynch that everybody wants to see. This is the 24-year-old that's got the potential that says, hey, hold up on drafting a quarterback right now. We got the guy that we want. Nice throw right there by Paxton Lynch, a little bin seam, as Mr. October in the chat saying that the offensive line of Oakland's going to have to be a lot more disciplined if they think they're going to be making it into the playoffs today.
Handoff to C.J. Anderson up the middle for a 3-yard gain as we've hit the second quarter. And once again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on MBL Live Week 17. Raiders win, and they are in. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out here with Bomber in Oakland. It is a scoreless game right now as we hit the second quarter, but the Denver Broncos are driving after the interception of Derek Carr on a 3rd and long, and they got great field position as Paxton Lynch comes out under center with 3 wide receivers. It's a quick screen to the outside, a nice shake and bake move, but unable to get anything going. A nice open field tackle there by the cornerback. It's going to bring up a 3rd and goal on the 6-yard line for this Denver Broncos offense.
Look, I really like that play right there. I thought it was a nice, safe play, and you put the ball in the hands of your receiver so they can make a play. He was one tackle break away from scoring 6, and that's exactly what you want if you're Denver right now. 3rd and goal, man, I would not mark off a opportunity to run a draw play to C.J. Anderson, get him running downfield a little bit, full head of steam, and possibly running over a linebacker or a safety and getting to the end zone.
3rd and goal for the Denver Broncos. He's got 4 wide receivers and Hillman in the backfield. First chance to see Ronnie Hillman. His play clock ticks down. He's going to be dropping back to pass once again. Looks over the middle, and it is dropped.
Oh, wow.
Tipped and then caught on the deflection, then dropped. A whole roller coaster of emotions. But it's going to be a 4th and goal, and Denver's going to be forced to settle for a field goal.
Yeah, oh, man. I mean, 3's better than 0. That was a little bit of a dangerous throw right there by Paxton Lynch. I really didn't like that. Him trying to squeeze it in there at the goal line. They're going to kick that field goal and go up 3-0 on Oakland in Oakland. Could definitely be an interesting finish we got going on right now with Oakland and Denver right here. The rivalry is brewing, and this is exactly what the Raiders knew they were going to be in for, man. So I expect a bounce back from Oakland here on this drive.
Get an opportunity to see Derek Carr recover from that interception. Probably pretty happy to only see 3 points go on the board after turning the ball almost inside his own red zone on the 27-yard line. But 1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders. We got 4:48 to go in the first half. And so far, the defenses have been standing strong for both of these teams as the ball's going to be on the 25-yard line after that kickoff. Derek Carr, what does he got to do to get into rhythm? We'll see if he can get a couple short throws going, or if they're going to air it out with him, or if they're just going to keep it on the ground with Latavius Murray as he comes out. He's got 3 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. It's a play action to Latavius Murray. He's going to be throwing it once again. He's got a man wide open. It's Walford once again, and it is complete, and Derek Carr looks like he hasn't missed a step. Great throw over to the left side and a first down.
Was that Walford with the catch over the middle? Man. Tight ends today are looking more and more athletic. They're looking quicker, and you see Big 88 go over the middle and make a play like that, man, against a very athletic Denver defense. It's just very impressive as he comes out and in the backfield looks like he's going to problem right, hand it off to his tight end up the middle.
Walford showing a little ball carrier patience there as he is able to hit the hole and get 5 yards there on first down, bring up a 2nd and 5. But so far, Walford has been very involved in the offense with 2 catches and now a carry as the Oakland Raiders attempt to tie this game up or take the lead on this drive. 4:03 to go in the second quarter. And as Derek Carr breaks the huddle, he's going to come out. He's got, looks like 4 wide receivers and Latavius Murray in the backfield. He's going to be in the shotgun just over midfield, dropping back to pass once again, and it is complete to Nelson, and it is a first down over the middle. 15-yard gain on that, a nice throw by Derek Carr.
Yeah, when they brought in Jordy Nelson, you didn't know what you were going to get for him. Obviously, Jordy Nelson is a little old as far as being in the NBL right now. He's 33 years old. He's still got it, 6'3", 217 pounds. This year he actually had a bounce-back year from his last year in Green Bay when a lot of people thought he probably should retire, but he felt he had a little bit more to give. With the Amari Cooper suspension, he felt he could come in here and get some run, and he definitely did that. 3 touchdowns on the year, 454 yards on 34 completions. So Jordy Nelson continues to be a player that this team really counts on.
As the completion is over the middle to John Brown, it's going to bring up a 2nd and inches just short of the first down line at the 24-yard line. But no doubt Jordy Nelson, known as in his younger days sort of a speedster on the outside, has really settled into his role in the slot and has given the Oakland offense and Derek Carr a nice option in the middle. 2nd and inches as Derek Carr breaks this huddle. He's got 2 wide to the left. He's going to have Latavius Murray in the backfield. Looking over the defense, changing the play up. As Derek Carr is looking to get this first down. It's going to be handoff right up the middle to Murray, and Murray was stopped immediately, but uses those big tree trunks as legs to get the first down. Murray, he's got a lot of power down there. It's going to take more than one man to bring him down.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation.
Yeah, Latavius Murray's been a beast all year. 4.9 yards per carry, 10 touchdowns on the season. This guy's, man, he's been arguably their best offensive player since they started their turnaround about mid-season.
1st and 10 for the Oakland Raiders as they are almost in the red zone, but definitely in field goal range, looking to put some points on the board and get this game either tied up or take the lead as Derek Carr's going to come out under center. He's got 3 wide to the right and 1 to the left, and Latavius Murray in the backfield, dropping back to pass once again. The blitz comes, and he's able to get it off to Murray underneath for an 8-yard gain. We'll call it 7, bringing up a 2nd and 3, but a really smart there by Derek Carr. That's a throw last year. He might have thrown deep and thrown an interception, but just checks it down to the running back and is able to get a couple yards out of that one.
Yeah, nice check down by Derek Carr. He was under pressure right there, had to get rid of it and made the right decision, and they were able to pick up 7 yards. I mean, that's a play probably early in the season, he doesn't make, and he probably ends up scrambling, throwing it away, or maybe forcing it downfield possibly for a turnover.
2nd and 3 for this Oakland offense as they are now in the red zone on the 15-yard line and looking for 6 as they're trying to punch this into the end zone and take the lead at the 2-minute warning. They want to get the score before the half. Derek Carr under center is going to be dropping back to pass it once again. He throws it out to the left side. It is his running back, Latavius Murray, once again. It's going to be close to the first down line, but we'll call it a 3rd and short. But once again, Derek Carr growing through his progressions and able to dump it off to his running back and bring up a 3rd and short.
3rd and short, Derek Carr, we see a lot of throws to the flat. Is Denver going to pick up on this and start covering some hard flats and trying to jump these routes? Derek Carr's already thrown 1 interception. We could see that happen again as they look like they're going to run up the middle here on 3rd and inches.
They certainly have that big look, and the Denver defense was there to make a stop on the
fullback dive, baby. Kick the field goal.
And Denver is able to stop them on 3rd and inches. That's a play that do you put that one on the fullback unable to get something, or do you put that on this offensive line that already has 2 holding penalties and just left a gaping hole for the linebacker to come up and make that stop?
I put it on the play calling. You got Latavius Murray, 4.9 yards per carry. You're a fullback, man. He hasn't done anything all year. He's averaging 1.5 yards per carry. Why wouldn't you give it to Latavius Murray? Why would you go into this fullback dive on 3rd and inches? Why wouldn't you give it to your star halfback who's proven that he's your best player on offense? It really doesn't make sense. They left points on the board with that one.
No doubt. It will be interesting to see if we see more of Latavius Murray. He's had a good game so far, but on a crucial situation there, they opted to give it to the fullback. But they do kick the field goal and tie the game at 3. And once again, this Oakland Raiders field goal team has some of the best hair. Kicker, the holder, all with flowing hair, looking good out there and kicking that field goal. 2nd quarter, minute 21 left as the Denver Broncos have 2 timeouts, plenty of time to get something done, but we'd like to thank everybody once again for joining us here on MBL Live. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out here with Bomber Win, and you're in for the Oakland Raiders, and the pressure is all on them. The Denver Broncos, defending AFC West champions, not going to be in the playoffs this year, but looking to play spoiler to their division rivals, these Oakland Raiders. They see twice a year. As Paxton Lynch is going to come out in the I formation with C.J. Anderson at the top of that I. Dropping back to pass once again, and he throws it over the middle. It is intercepted by Heaney, and he is going to take this one up to the 21-yard line. Just straight up jumped that route. An inexcusable throw there. Didn't look like he had a man open at all, and Heaney makes a nice play on the ball and is able to take that up to the 22-yard line.
Yeah, that's Heaney's 4th interception on the season. A nice little post route by the tight end right there. You feel like your tight end should be able to get open and get some separation over the middle against man coverage, and it just doesn't work out that way as Heaney makes another nice play. 4th interception on the season. Has got 2 sacks and one of their team leaders in tackles thus far. And let's see if Derek Carr and this Oakland Raider offense can right the ship and give the ball to Latavius Murray, as they do, as he breaks a tackle and fights back to the line of scrimmage for a gain of 0.
2nd interception today for Paxton Lynch, as he's going to be looking in the second half to recover from those 2 turnovers. Oakland, under a minute left. They've got 3 timeouts. No hurry right now, looking to get some points before the half, as Derek Carr is going to be in the pistol with 3 wide receivers to the right. Jordy Nelson on the outside of those wide receivers, going to be dropping back to pass once again, and he hits John Brown, who's unable to come up with the catch. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 10 for this Oakland Raiders offense. Tough play there. Did take a big hit, unable to come up with the ball.
Yeah, John Brown, that's the knock on John Brown. He's got the athleticism, he's got the speed, he's got the agility, but he's not going to be somebody that makes these kind of plays consistently, especially those big possession receptions. He just doesn't come down with the ball once he takes those hits. But here's a crucial part right here. I would like to see a halfback screen here. Play it safe. Let's not run anything that's going to put us in a position to turn the ball over.
Play action pass. It's going to be Derek Carr looking to throw it. He throws it deep to the end zone.
And he's got it. Wow.
Jordy Nelson, a touchdown for the Oakland Raiders. What a catch. And what a throw by Derek Carr, trusting Jordy Nelson to go up for it. And the Oakland Raiders, with, again, the best hair in special teams, are going to go up 10-3 over this Denver Broncos team.
What a throw by Derek Carr. Maybe hashtag Carr overrated is dead. I'm going to ask the chat right now, guys, what do you think? Was that a good throw or a great catch? Because I don't know. When you got Jordy Nelson back there with a lot to prove, I mean, making a catch like that against the cover 2, splitting those safeties, coming down with the ball, just pretty impressive on the receiver end. But what do y'all think about that pass? Is hashtag Carr overrated about to just die? RIP hashtag Carr overrated today or what?
Jordy Nelson reviving his career here in Oakland. Nobody was going to give him a chance. Oakland gave him a flyer, and he comes up with what might be one of the biggest catches of his career as this Oakland team takes a 10-3 lead. Denver will be getting the ball for the second half, so it's a big score for Oakland before the kickoff as the Denver Broncos are going to come out. 38 seconds left, 2 timeouts. They do have plenty of time as Paxton Lynch is going to be in the shotgun. And they're setting up the screen to C.J. Anderson. It is set up, but Anderson inexplicably runs into his own blocker, and subsequently the defender looked like he had a hold of the outside, but instead it's only a 7-yard gain.
I'd like to see him hit the sideline right now. Guys, you got to understand, C.J. Anderson, much bigger back than most of the backs in the NBL, so he likes that contact, and he likes to run through people, as you saw right there. He did end up running through the defender, but man, he had a lot of room around the edge of that block. He could have hit the sideline and turned up field, but just didn't see it happen with CJ. Possibly a big opportunity missed right there for the Denver Broncos.
Interesting there is actually the Oakland Raiders, who took a timeout there after the 7-yard gain, as they may be looking to try to get this ball back. We'll see if that comes back to bite them, as they do give a free timeout to the Broncos, who are still trying to drive down and get some points before this half. As Paxton Lynch drops back, takes a big hit, throws it deep, and it is complete down the left side for a first down to Emmanuel Sanders.
Got him! So
Wow.
thanks for the timeout, Oakland. This team only had 2 left. Oakland gave them an extra one. That's what you call being a little over-aggressive on both sides, why Oakland burned that timeout. And then on the flip side, Denver says, well, we're just going to take a shot now. If it gets intercepted, it's just like a punt. We're going to halftime 10-3. We got nothing to lose. We're playing for pride here. And Denver comes up with a really, really big play.
Paxton Lynch hits once again over on the left side. A nice out route there. A beautiful throw, gets out of bounds. It's going to get him a first down. We talked about that touchdown that Jordy Nelson caught, whether that was a good throw or a good catch. That one right there to Emmanuel Sanders, the deep ball that got him down in this situation. That one looked like just a great catch. Emmanuel Sanders just showing he's better than everybody out there.
Yeah, that's just I'm gonna put it up there, and you be the star that you are, and you gonna make a play. Emmanuel Sanders is arguably having a really down year. 46 catches, 693 yards. This was a guy that was putting in about 1,000 yards a season in the NBL for about 5 to 6 seasons last Madden. So really see a drop off in production thus far. He tried to squeeze it in, interception. Wow.
Oh, my Lord, and just like that, Denver looked like they were primed to get some points, and Joseph diving in and getting the interception. It was a great defensive play, a tough play there for the Paxton Lynch. He throws his 3rd first-half interception, killing all momentum Denver had from that long completion.
That hurts, man. They're at the 1 yard line right here. So, I mean, possibly send a little bit of heat and see if you can get a safety maybe. Might be the thought process right now by the Denver Broncos, but you don't want to be too overly aggressive right now as they're looking down the field. That could have been easily picked off by Von Miller as he kind of hesitated and stopped up a little out route by the tight end. He saw Von was right there to make a play and just didn't do it. As Denver burns a timeout inexplicably, you would think he'd want to just get to half right now.
1st and 10 for this Oakland Raiders team. They've got 1 timeout left, 13 seconds to go. We'll see if they try to push this ball downfield. Seems how aggressive Project Fat and this Oakland Raiders team has been so far. I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to try to get this ball downfield and try to get another score in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at John Brown. I'm looking at John Brown on the left over there. Looks like he got a step, but he didn't see him. He stays over the middle of the field. They're going to burn their last timeout. 8 seconds left, OSU. At the 34, man, just run the ball. We don't want to see a sack fumble happen, anything crazy, and you get points on the board right here. Maybe even just take a knee.
No doubt that they don't want a turnover at this moment. If they are going to run something, they're going to have to run it to the outsides. They are now out of timeouts. Derek Carr in the shotgun, 1st and 10. Ball's on the 34-yard line, 8 seconds and counting. He drops back to pass. He hits Nelson over the middle for the first down. But that is going to take this half down to halftime. 10-3, Oakland with the lead. Bomber. Oakland really outplayed Denver almost on every side of the ball right there. They were able to get 3 turnovers off Paxton Lynch. Derek Carr had a nice first half. What adjustments do you see from Denver in the second half?
I think Denver just needs to calm down. I mean, you got in the red zone, just slow down a little bit. Look, as much as you're saying that they're getting dominated right now, it's 10-3, and they're getting the ball back right now. They gave up a huge opportunity to put 3 on the board and go and have it 10-6 right now. Okay, that's over. Forget it. You know, it's over. You threw an interception. You got 3 already. Let's clean up the rest of the game. Let's get behind C.J. Anderson, and let's get some short stuff going, and then find our opportunities to take some shots down the field. But this Denver team is not even close to being done right now. They're right in this game and right in striking distance.
Even with those 3 interceptions, they're still only down a touchdown as we hit the second half here. Ball's on the 25-yard line. It's going to be a play-action pass. Paxton Lynch wide open over the middle. It is complete for a first down. Nice throw there by Lynch. Making that quick decision, able to get a quick throw for a first down.
Yeah, see, here's the thing about Paxton Lynch, that throw right there, guys. Let's see. He ran a nice little in route. I would like to see him lead that one upfield. I think he had a lot of room upfield to lead it. I don't know why he would lead him back to the middle of the field right there on that throw. I just think there was a lot more room upfield, and I think that would have been their opportunity to get a couple more yards on that play.
C.J. Anderson with the handoff on first down. It goes nowhere. This Oakland defensive line has done a great job shutting down this Denver rushing attack. C.J. Anderson unable to get anything going apart from that first run. He has been stopped on every run since then. As Paxton Lynch is going to come out 2nd 11 in the shotgun. He's got Thomas and Sanders to his left. Anderson in the backfield. They're going to hand it to Anderson once again. Able to get a couple yards there. Looked like he might have missed a hole more to the right. He ran right into a defender. We'll call it a 2-yard gain. 3rd and 9, and tough times here for Paxton Lynch. He's already thrown an interception. He's going to be looking to convert here.
Yeah, the chat's really going off right now. Big game Jordy seems to be trending in our chat right now, as it should be, man. Jordy Nelson's coming up big, week 17. That's why you brought him in here. He's that vet, and he's got those strong hands that you definitely can rely on, especially with Tyler Eifert out on Oakland's end. He's going to be coming up really big down the stretch for this team.
10-3, and Paxton Lynch is going to be hit as he throws, rolls out to the right side, unable to find anyone open, but able to get that ball off as he hits. It's going to bring up a 4th down. Denver going to be punting to Oakland. Oakland looking to put more points on the board. Can't be happy with what you got out of Paxton Lynch in this offense coming out of the half. Made a nice completion, get a first down, but unable to get anything past that. And Denver's going to have to find a way to move the ball against this Oakland defense if they're going to get back in this game.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to come down to, this offense. But maybe this defense can make some plays, man. They got some playmakers on that side of the field. Vontae Miller, how much energy is he willing to exert right now? I mean, this is a defense that didn't really perform too well against the pass. They were 20th. They were 17th in the league in points allowed. So, I mean, basically what they've been able to key in on is their top 7 rushing defense this year. So that's what they're really going to need to key in on and stop this rush with Latavius Murray and put Derek Carr in some 3rd and longs.
Derek Carr, play action pass, can throw it out to the left side to Robert, who's able to get up. 9-yard gain on that one. Derek Carr, 13-16, 148 yards, a touchdown and interception. After we saw him last year on NBL Live, he certainly has worked on his game a lot, and he is much more accurate. 13-16. You got to be happy if you're an Oakland fan to see your young quarterback playing this well.
Yeah, I think he's playing well for a regular season Week 17 game, but the passes I'm seeing him make are not passes that any playoff team is going to have problems defending. A lot of stuff to the flat, a lot of quick throws, play action FK quick. It's just not impressive play calling I've seen thus far from the Oakland Raiders. So I would like to see a little bit more down the field, and I'd like to see them close out strong and show me that this team is a team that could potentially make an upset in the playoffs.
Latavius Murray with the handoff there on 2nd and 2, able to get the first down there. Latavius Murray looks a little irked that he wasn't given the ball on that 3rd and inches down inside the red zone. He muscles his way up for a first down and able to get it there as Derek Carr is going to come out. He's got Brown to his left, Robert split out to the right, and Latavius Murray in the backfield. As we hit under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, it's going to be a stretch play to Murray with a nice cut, and he's got a big hole. He's down to the 31 man to beat a nice open field tackle there, but Latavius Murray showing some agility there, cuts it back inside on that stretch play and able to get a big gain down to the 23-yard line.
That's where this defense is going to be strong. I mean, you got Latavius Murray. He's averaging nearly 5 yards per carry, as I mentioned earlier. And just with his ability to get in the end zone and make those big explosive plays, he had over 1,000 yards rushing already coming into this game for a reason. He was at 1,051. He's in the top 1-2% of the league in rushing. So this is a guy you just got to give the ball and just feed him.
Another handoff to Latavius Murray. That one is sniffed out, but Murray 8 rushes for 52 yards already. Oakland over 200 yards of offense as we hit almost the 3-minute mark in the third quarter. Once again, we'd like to thank everybody for hanging out with us here on NBL Live. Week 17, Raiders win, and you're in. I'm OSU. I'm hanging out here with Bomber. This is as big as it gets, boys, and we're about to hit playoff time here in the NBL. It's going to be exciting as on 2nd down, it's going to be another handoff to Murray. And Murray's going to muscle his way forward. It looked like that was stopped behind the line, but he's able to turn that into a 5-yard game. And how impressive has Latavius Murray been early in this game?
He's been very impressive, and if the play calling doesn't hold him back, I expect this to continue and a lot more. It's 3rd and 3 right here. I expect another heavy dose of Latavius Murray. Even if he gets stopped, you kick the field goal, you go up 10 points. This Denver offense hasn't showed you that they're able to capitalize and put 6 on the board, put 7 on the board. So This is just an opportunity to just keep the ball safe and not create any kind of turnovers when you're in the red zone.
Derek Carr, 3rd and 3, big moment here for this Denver defense trying to stop the Oakland Raiders. 3rd and 3. Carr is under center. He's been looking to pass here on 3rd down, and he is hit as he throws, but he's able to get the pass off. They're going to say his arm was moving forward on that one. It's going to bring up a 4th and 3. Interesting there, they did not hand the ball to Latavius Murray. They instead opted to throw it, and it burned them in the end, unable to get anything going, and they're going to be forced to settle.
Yeah, the pressure came. Denver's pressure came. I mean, they got some good outside linebacker pressure on that play, and it just caused Derek Carr to pretty much take a sack, and that could have turned pretty nasty there. I mean, that could have been a sack fumble. And that was exactly what I was talking about. I really would like them to see them keep it on the ground and give it to Latavius Murray. And there goes that hair again, man. What?
Oh,
that is some
flowing,
exceptional hair from that kicker in Oakland.
Hayden with the flowing hair, nicknamed Fabio here in the NBL, and that kick silky smooth like his flowing mane. It is up and it is good, and it's a 13-3 lead for Oakland, jumping out here with 2:29 to go in the third quarter, and we're going to get an opportunity to see Paxton Lynch come out 3-and-out on their first drive. You got to think Denver's got to get points out of this one, if for no reason other than to give Paxton Lynch a little confidence.
Yeah, it's just like they were in the red zone. They were at they got to about the 1-yard line when that interception happened. They had just a little quick trigger by Paxton Lynch. As Deca Dog said in the chat, he just needs to calm down a little bit, sit in the pocket, and just go on a nice drive here. Let's see a nice drive, finish out the quarter with yourself in some kind of range to score or a threat to score, and then you're right back in this ball game.
Paxton Lynch comes out under center with 2 wide receivers and C.J. Anderson. 1st and 10, ball's on the 25-yard line. Lynch dropping back to pass once again, and he's got once again a little out route. It is complete to Demaryius Thomas for first down. Lynch 10 of 16, but 3 interceptions so far. It's so far been the demise of this Denver offense. They've looked good at times, but unable to get anything going with those turnovers.
Yeah, and if I'm Oakland right now, I want to see a big pick six, another one, and just really clinch this, because I want to go away from this game feeling like I won and I earned my spot into the playoffs rather than just the Broncos played very poorly, and that's where I'm at as C.J. Anderson finds a huge hole and gets to about midfield, nearly picking up a first down for the Denver Broncos.
And you could have fit a dump truck through that hole as C.J. Anderson able to get up for a 9-yard gain as we are under 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. 2nd and 1. As Denver looks like they're trying to get C.J. Anderson a little more involved. This Oakland defense has been great in stopping Anderson so far, but he found a big hole there. This offensive line is going to have to give plenty of holes for Anderson to get through, as well as protect Paxton Lynch, as they have been much maligned so far this season. Lynch dropping back to pass on 2nd and 1. He's able to complete it over the middle, little drag route there for a first down. Smart throw there, and bringing up a 1st and 10 as they are over midfield.
Yeah, I like that for Paxton. Let's keep it simple right now. I did think he had the halfback on the right, flaring out the backfield. Could have hit him, but he decided instead to go with the drag route coming across the field. Nice play by number 89 for Denver, and then now they're in Oakland territory. Let's continue this going. I said by the end of the quarter they need to be in scoring range, and that looks exactly where they're headed.
As we reach a minute to go in the third quarter, on first 10, it's going to be a toss play out to the right to C.J. Anderson, but that one was stopped quickly. Looked like 4 black jerseys out there bringing him down, and it was Heaney who had the big interception in the first
I'm really
half
liking
with
Heaney,
the tackle.
man.
Boy, does he look like a good young player or what?
He looks like a stud, man. Stud in the making right there, man. And you got him out there with Khalil Mack, Alden Smith. I mean, you got some nice players on the defensive side for Denver, and you just think, how are they 10th and 12th in passing and rushing? They should be a lot higher as Paxton fails to get the ball off, takes a deep sack right there.
It was Khalil Mack with the sack. Mack sack. Boy, it's just poetry writing himself, and as you mentioned, this Oakland defense is young and athletic, and Mack showing it off there. Lynch unable to get the ball off, bringing up a 3rd and long. That can't be how you're looking to close out this quarter for Denver, as they're going to be forced to try to convert or at least get this ball into field goal range. The first down looks like it's about the 36-yard line, 37-yard line. So just into field goal range. Paxton Lynch is going to have to make smart decisions here, not turn this ball over. Dropping back, throwing it deep over the middle, and it is lucky to not be intercepted. Maybe Paxton Lynch dropped back a little too much there, as it looked like he tried to muscle that ball down the middle, and there were 3 black jerseys there, and they're going to be forced to punt once again.
Yeah, this is just not good offensive football by the Denver Broncos right now. I'm definitely seeing a team that's just showing me that they're very inconsistent, and it's very reflective of their record, 7-8, possibly finishing the season at 7-9 with the loss to Oakland today. That's where that would put them, and that's exactly how they look like they're playing, man. We see some great stuff from Paxton Lynch, and then we see some bad stuff. In this game, we're getting a little bit of it all, and that's why they haven't been able to put together a drive that actually finishes with the touchdown thus far.
Fourth quarter time here in Oakland. Oakland with the 10-point lead, 13-3 here on NBL Live Week 17. Thanks again to everybody who has joined us, hanging out with us here. Man had a little stroke there. It's fine. I'm back. 13-3 Oakland with the lead. Be sure to stick with us after the game. We will have not only our NBL Live Player of the Game. You can check out all of our Player of the Games at 365.maddenbomberleague.com. And as Derek Carr's going to come out. He's got 3 tight ends. John Brown split out to the right. Latavius Murray in the backfield on 1st and 10. And it is going to be a handoff to Murray, who cuts it back inside. Not a whole lot of room there. No gain on that one. He's got 10 rushes, 58 yards so far. And we want to give a big shout out to our graphics sponsor. That's web3ks.com. They do all of our overlays here on NBL Live. These graphics that you see making our broadcast look so good. That's web3ks.com, the leader in affordable graphics. If you need any graphics done, be sure to go to web3ks.com. But be sure to stick after the game. We will have that NBL Live Player of the Game. We're also going to have a post-game interview with the winning owner. We will see who that will be. Right now, Oakland on top as the pass is out. Walford once again with a big catch. Walford has been a big part of this offense. Derek Carr certainly trusts them. They have some great chemistry out there for a first down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this post-game interview, guys. Make sure you stick around. We're going to have the winner. So if Fat ends up holding on and winning this game, he's going to come on the show. And believe me, if you got some questions for Project Fat about his team going into the playoffs, because I know I sure do, and I'll be asking those questions, and I'll ask a couple that y'all have in the chat. So just give me a couple what we should ask to the winner of this game. And I really want to ask, man, and this is what I want to know, is going to Walford and Jordy Nelson at his age, is this really going to lead to anything other than a one and done in the playoffs? I mean, how confident can you feel in this passing attack thus far if you're the Oakland Raiders?
Well, the Oakland Raiders definitely have a young defense, as we have talked about, and no doubt if they were able to win today, they certainly will be going into playoffs confidence, as this is probably as high of a pressure situation as they have ever faced. Win and you are in, lose and you're going home feeling sad once again. As the Raiders will come out, Derek Carr's going to toss it to Latavius Murray out to the left side. He's got some blockers out there, cuts it upfield, and is able to get about 6 yards there, bringing up a 3rd and 1. Once again, Latavius Murray showing he's got that lateral quickness as well as some strength. And let's give a shout out to Bradley Roby on defense. This is 5th tackle. Roby playing out of Ohio State, out at the cornerback and safety position, able to come up. He's a big hitter for this Denver defense.
Yeah, he definitely is, and they definitely have some stars on that defensive side of the ball. You'd expect them to be a lot better than they're ranked. Guys, I think there's something OSU that we've kind of missed, as it looks like a little draw. They're not going to get, as Latavius Murray.
He
tried for that draw, man. It just got blown up from the spot. It looks like they're going to punt here. But there's another team watching right now at the edge of their seat, most likely rooting for the Denver Broncos, and that's another division rivalry because if the Raiders lost tonight, they're obviously not in, but we haven't talked about who's in if they lose, and there's only one team left, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs.
Bronco and the Kansas City Chiefs led by, well, the much maligned this year, Trey McIntyre. They're trying to get into the playoffs as well. Oakland.
I would like to see Trey McIntyre make the playoffs, though. I mean, I from a fan's perspective of the NBL, I would like to step back and say, hey, man, I want to see what this guy would look like in those real bright lights and have to go on the road and get a victory to keep his team alive in the playoffs. I think that could be really interesting.
Paxton Lynch going to come out first and 10. Ball's on that 20-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to C.J. Anderson, and that's a nice tackle on the inside there. Unable to get anything. That's actually lucky with the handoff. Not too lucky there. Unable to get anything going. Clock's running under 3.5 minutes. Denver's going to have to show some urgency. They're still down 2 scores here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the pace isn't there right now. I'm looking at this Denver team right now, just based on that play they just ran right now. They've already knocked off, going on nearly 20 seconds. They're not even at the line of scrimmage right now. It's got to be pace, 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 and that's why you don't come away with wins like this. It's hard to maintain a 2-minute drill kind of pace when you are your quarterback is Paxton Lynch. As they're going to throw an interception.
Interception to the left side. A bad throw there. Man, I hate to say it, but Paxton Lynch. Hashtag Lynch overrated. This Paxton Lynch trying to get something going, but that's just another bad decision. All 4 of his interceptions have been just bad throws.
Yeah, you'd have to be rated to be overrated, and I don't think that's where Paxton Lynch is right now. Sadly, as a quarterback, and I could see Denver moving on for Paxton Lynch right now, as it looks like they're going to give it to Murray up the middle here in just a bit. I'll go ahead and take a look at Paxton Lynch's contract and see what kind of Murray breaks it, almost picking up the first down. A little bit of a depleted Denver Broncos in the second half, man. We can't lie. 7-8 right now. Nothing really to gain for this team to win except for stopping Oakland from making the playoffs. Came out with a little bit of energy up front. Just that interception at the goal line really hurt this team. Right now, Paxton Lynch is making $2.25 million. Very cheap contract they got him on right now. I'm sorry, $4.4 million. 2.5 guaranteed. So he's got 4 years on the contract. 2 years left on the contract on a 4-year deal. I mean, there's nothing contractually that's holding this team from keeping this guy, and I could definitely see them moving on from Paxton Lynch next year and going after either a veteran quarterback in the free agency, kind of like what Jacksonville and Buffalo did. Buffalo had a lot of success. Jacksonville had a lot of success early with that concept, and I could see a couple other teams trying to jump on that wagon as well. Even look at Chicago. They picked up Tony Romo, and now they're in the playoffs in the NFC.
Derek Carr, first and 10. They're going to hand it to Latavius Murray, the workhorse, once again. He's going to get a yard there, bringing up a 2nd and 9. Oakland just milking this clock down. But let's talk about Denver for a moment. This is a Denver team that won the division last year. This year, the AFC West certainly much more competitive, and Porter and this Denver Broncos offense unable to get anything going. Paxton Lynch started for them last year, had similar numbers to this year, but they were able to make the playoffs as Derek Carr is going to come out in the I formation as we reach near the 2-minute warning with 2:10 left and counting. They're going to hand it once again to Latavius Murray, who is stopped in the backfield, and it's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. But bummer, this team won the division last year. They got a lot of the same personnel left. Where has this division-winning team gone? Is just the division better, or has this team gotten worse since last year?
Well, I mean, that's a great question, OSU. I mean, that's what a lot of people are wondering, the same thing. I mean, the production on offense is nearly identical to what it was last year, if not slightly worse. But the defense is it's just non-existent, especially in the passing game. They're 20th, and they're allowing 19 points per game. That's 17th. And the offense is only, they're not carrying their weight. They're 18th, averaging 18. So you got the offense averaging 18 a game, the defense giving up 19 a game. That's always a recipe for a disaster. That smells 500 all over it, as they're going to run a little screenplay to Latavius Murray. And he has a nice little bit of a cutback there on that screen, gets them to a 4th and 7. They're going to settle for a field goal. Game's not over yet, man, but just what we saw from the pace in the Denver Broncos, man, this season's pretty much over for them. And I don't expect much on this final drive for Denver after Oakland can make this field goal.
Oh,
and that
look
hair
at
is
the
flowing.
hair. That hair team, look at the holder, too. He's got the flowing blonde hair, the flowing black hair. It's up, and it's good, silky smooth. I feel like our NBL Live player of the game might be those two guys' hair. They've been busy kicking some field goals and extra points and just putting them all right down the middle. It's a 16-3 lead for Oakland as we are at 1:51 left. No doubt a tough task for this Denver Broncos offense, as so far they've been unable to move the ball and get any points going with 4 turnovers, but also they only have 1:48 left to get 2 scores. But Paxton Lynch is going to come out. We know this Denver Broncos team is not going to give up. Let's see if he can get anything going to cut into this lead and play a little spoiler, maybe make Oakland a little nervous. But Oakland so far, this is a team that's playing with a lot of confidence right now, and they look primed to go into the playoffs and maybe make a little run. Derek Carr certainly impressed me today.
He might have impressed you, not too much on my end. I think the defense made a lot of plays in clutch situations, and we're talking about they're winning 16-3 over a team that just really is struggling, and they're pretty much at this point throwing the ball right to them. Am I impressed with the Raiders? No, I think they had a great comeback during the season, but this game particularly was not their sharpest. I think they've looked better on offense during this run. In this game, they really didn't. They had a lot of underneath throws, pretty much a lot of safe passes, and they won this game because the defense made a play. Mind you, this could easily right now, and there's another interception by Paxton Lynch, which is going to end the game. This game right now could easily be 16-10. That's where it was headed. If it would have been 16-10 right now, that would have been a different drive we saw right now and the different drive we saw before. So I'm looking at this team, and I'm just not too impressed with Oakland right now, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think relying on Walford and Doherty Nelson, I just don't see that as a playoff a team. And who are they going to be taking on in the first round? That's where we should be analyzing right now in the AFC.
Well, here's what I will say about this Oakland team as they have a 16-3 lead and they're primed to just sort of run this clock out with 1:26 left. Derek Carr's going to come out with Latavius Murray. But here's where the Oakland Raiders have impressed me, and Derek Carr has impressed me as Murray's able to get a couple yards, or up to 87 yards on the day. Derek Carr so far in the NBL has been known for throwing interceptions, turnovers, playing overrated. They put him as this gunslinger to lead this team into the playoffs, and let's give him credit. He has led this team in the playoffs. Their defense has certainly played strong, but at least today from watching this game, Derek Carr has certainly maybe not been that gunslinger throwing the ball downfield, making great throws. He did make a great throw to Jordy Nelson in the end zone, but biggest thing is he was a game manager. Only 1 interception, really making the smart, safe throws. We had a couple times where he had pressure coming. Maybe nobody was open, and he just dumped it off or got rid of the ball. So that's where Derek Carr has impressed me, his decision-making and the coaching staff for giving him the play calls to be successful. The defense has certainly led them today with 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions of Paxton Lynch, but Derek Carr has certainly done nothing to hurt this Oakland team, and it looks like he's going to lead their team to a playoff spot.
Yeah, it's pretty much signed, sealed, and delivered, and they're going to be going to San Diego to play the San Diego Chargers, led by Prince, who was the division winner this year. And we can look at some matchups from them. They actually have a victory over the San Diego Chargers in Week 11 when Oakland was going on a very nice run. And they pretty soundly beat them 20-3. But then in Week 6, they gave up 32 points and lost 32-24. So this team has a split. They beat them before. So from the wild card teams that we're looking at Sonny's Bengals taking on the Bills, going to Buffalo. You could see both of these wild card teams push to win these wild card games in the AFC.
No doubt there are going to be some great matchups, and we want you to stay tuned. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League. That's where you can find out everything that's going on with the Madden Bomber League and our NBL live broadcast. We are for sure going to have some playoff matchups coming up. Once we get those scheduled, you'll be the first to hear it, as the Oakland Raiders are in a position where they wanted to be at the beginning of this game, in a victory formation with the clock running down, 40 seconds left, a 16-3 lead, and this defense has led this Oakland Raiders team to another victory. 5 interceptions of Paxton Lynch, and Derek Carr threw for a touchdown and was able to only throw 1 interception. Latavius Murray had a nice game. All right, this clock is running out, Bomber. And before we get to our post-game interview, let's first talk about some final thoughts here. Do these Oakland Raiders, I know you said you weren't too impressed by Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders offense, but do they have an opportunity? They did beat this San Diego Chargers team earlier. Do they have an opportunity to make maybe a little run, make some noise in the AFC, and show that they're a force to be reckoned with?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so. I
no,
don't.
that's
I don't
easy.
think so. I don't see it happening. That's just my opinion. Could they beat the Chargers? Yes, man. I think the Chargers are one of those very unique teams that they sometimes this isn't a knock on Prince. I really like Prince as an owner. I really like him as a team builder. I think he plays down to his competition, and I think that's where he can get in trouble a little bit, and that's where Oakland can come up big and make a couple plays.
All right, our final score from Oakland, the Raiders. They won. They're in 16-3, a dominating win over this Denver Broncos team. And let's first take a moment to pick our MBL Live player of the game. A lot of choices to go through. If you could pick the whole defense, I think you would. But if it were me picking it, I think I'd have to give it to Latavius Murray. He really set a pace for this offense and was able to really get something going for this run game. He was almost at 100 yards, 96 yards in the game, also 3 catches. Latavius Murray, great game for the Raiders. What about you, Bomber? Who do you think?
I think Latavius Murray is the guy on this offense. They're going to go as far as he takes them. But on that note, I think an honorable mention would be the 33-year-old guy from the NFC North that played for the Packers last year that they didn't want nothing to do with. They didn't even offer him a deal. He felt really disrespected. He came over to the AFC, joined the Raiders, and said he had a little bit left in the tank. And Jordy made some great plays today and some great catches.
Jordy Nelson, of course, having a great game, but Latavius Murray is going to be our MBL Live player of the game. Jordy Nelson, a little career revival for him. A great catch in the end zone. Derek Carr making a nice throw to him. And we will be soon going to our post-game interview as the Oakland Raiders are able to win. And it sounds like we have the winning owner. It is Project Fat with the 16-3 win over the Denver Broncos. Fat, congratulations. Give us a little insight. How do you think Derek Carr did today? Looked like he was under control for most of the game and able to make a couple nice throws.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. And you're 100% right. I mean, he obviously had an early throw that was picked off. But I mean, outside of that, he was really composed. Made great reads. His guys dropped a couple of balls, but I mean, outside of that, he managed the game just like we needed him to.
No doubt a great win for your team as you win and get in. Does this win have a little more meaning for you, being able to do it over a division rival? This is a team that won the division last year. You're able to get into the playoffs by beating them this year in the last game at home in front of your home fans. Is there a little more meaning to this game because you were able to do it over the Broncos?
Most definitely, because for a while there we had a hard time beating this team, and this year we were able to come out and beat them both times we played them. So I think definitely anytime it's a division opponent, it means that much more. But I mean, with everything involved, making the playoffs after a rough start and all that good stuff, I think that definitely means a lot more.
All right, Bomber. All right, Fat. This is Bomber here.
Bomber, you're not interviewing yourself. I know you like you a lot. But you can't interview yourself.
All right, so I've been critical of this Oakland Raiders team throughout the broadcast. I'm critical of the offensive side of the ball. I think the defensive side of the ball is strong. But I think the injury to Tyler Eifert is obviously going to hurt this team moving forward if they want to get a playoff win and not be one and done. My question to you, Project Fat, right now is obviously Latavius Murray is going to be the workhorse of this offense. But without Tyler Eifert and without without a big player like Amari Cooper's still hurt, correct?
Yeah, he is.
So Amari Cooper's out, Tyler Eifert's out. So we're looking at Jordy Nelson, and I'm seeing a lot of Walford getting the ball, man. That is just not impressive to me. I don't think that's going to be able to get it done in San Diego. What can you tell the fans that are Oakland Raider fans right now that are saying, I think my team can beat San Diego. What do y'all have to do to beat San Diego? And do you think what you showed today versus depleted Denver Broncos team and this defeated Denver Broncos team is something you can carry on to next week?
We most definitely do, and we have a lot of confidence, in the role guys like Walford, like you spoke about, and we actually had so much confidence in him that we held Eifert out this week. He was actually trying to come. He really wanted to play on the field with the team today, but we held him out, and he's actually really pushing to come back next week, and it looks like he's most likely going to be able to do that. And with that being said, I mean, that's going to be, huge for this running game because I think, we've quickly learned that Latavius Murray is the workhorse. He is the guy that's going to get us where we want to go. And with Eifert, back in the game, obviously he's a great threat in the red zone, not only catching the ball, but he's a great run blocker as well. And I definitely feel that we can go into San Diego, beat those guys on the road. We've done it before. And I think that we can most definitely do it again.
All right, and my final question to you is just going to be, obviously the hashtag car overrated. It's obviously known that turned into a really trending thing on the NBL Twitter. But I'm looking at your team right now, man. Is Derek Carr ever going to be anything more than a game manager on this team? It seems like y'all have gone on this run, and right now I'm looking at his rating. He had an interception and a touchdown. He was 78.9 completion, but a lot of stuff to the flats, a lot of stuff underneath, a lot of safe throws, only 166 yards. What's the chances that we see a little bit of Derek Carr getting a little unleashed against that San Diego offense that put 32 on y'all mid-season, and y'all might need some offense in this passing game to keep up with this high-octane San Diego Charger offense?
I completely agree, but I do think that we can definitely get Derek Carr to be more than just a game manager. You got to think, all year he hasn't had his entire receiving core. Cooper was done early or out early because of suspensions, and then he's got injured his first week back. Tyler Eifert's been out for 5 weeks now. John Brown was out for a little bit. So this team has definitely been injured a lot this year. And obviously Carr has not been putting up the numbers you would expect from a guy of his caliber. But he's definitely done much better not turning the ball over is what we asked him to do. So he doesn't have all the yards and stuff to go along with it, but his touchdown to interception ratio in the second half of the season has been much more impressive, what we've wanted from him. And I think with Eifert possibly making a return next week, and if we're able to get past those Chargers, Cooper will be able to play in the following game after that. So I definitely think there's a lot of potential, and I think that's one thing we are looking to, but we also don't want to forget, the difference that Latavius Murray made for us all year long, and really carrying us this team on his back to yet another strong game today.
Well, Fat, I know you. I'm sure you were listening to the NBL Live pregame show while you were in your locker room getting ready for this game. And Bomber said, no matter how unimpressed he is, he said if Derek Carr was able to lead this team to victory, hashtag Carr overrated would be dead to him. No more of that. What's more important to you? Are you happy that you got the playoff spot, or are you happier that hashtag Carr overrated is finally done with?
It's definitely the playoffs for sure. But I could definitely say
be honest, okay? Come on.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? It's definitely been a thing. So the playoffs are great. But yeah, the Carr overrated thing is definitely was getting to the whole team. They all didn't believe in it. Neither did he. And so we're glad that thing can be gone and over with, and hopefully it never makes a return.
Well, Project Fat with the victory tonight, 16-3. A great run, getting a bunch of wins in a row, able to get into the playoffs. Congratulations. Good luck in San Diego next week.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
And that will do it for us tonight on NBL Live. Your winner today in Week 17 in a high-pressure game. Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders were able to get in with the 16-3 victory. And it's playoff time now, Bomb. We got wild card games coming up. This has got to be one of the most fun times here in the NBL.
Yeah, it definitely is, man. Anything can happen. I mean, the teams that are remaining this wild card round, we've seen some crazy stuff happen. I mean, you're looking at the AFC, and both of these wild card teams are looking to win, man. They're looking to go into Buffalo and go into San Diego and come home with wins and go to the next round. So, I mean, we see a lot of crazy stuff happening. And pretty much anything can happen, man. Dallas didn't even win the division this year, and they're back-to-back NFC champions. So I'm excited. Everybody's excited, and we're just all looking for that one team, the dark horse, just to come out of nowhere and start making that run and get a little fan base behind them, and we'll see what can happen.
Once again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on another edition of NBL Live. Big show. We'd like to thank Sonny Weaver for joining us on that pregame show, and, of course, the winning coach, Project Fat, for joining us on the postgame show with a little post interview. Be sure to give us a follow at Bomber League, or give us a little subscription right down below. You'll be able to be notified when we will be broadcasting. We will be bringing you playoff games. We want to bring you the best and the highest action here on the NBL Network. But that's going to do it for us today. For Bomber, I am OSU. Your final score today from Oakland is the Oakland Raiders. 16-3, they win, and they are in. We will see you next time on NBL Live.